I have three baby birds upstairs that hatched yesterday.
Oh,
Yep.
Uncle, Uncle Onsho and the baby birdies.
Yep.
Well, our baby birdies, I've seen mom and dad, but I think they maybe hatch this week or next week. I have to ask Dosho and Doshin and our other biologists, but I think maybe this week, next week. Very good.
Chicken eggs are 20 days. Quail eggs are 18, I believe. So probably around the 2 week mark.
You got the bird there. I'm leaving that while they're. How are you?
Brilliant.
Good, good, good. Ah, you know here, from Mexico.
Es from México. Yo sé.
Yaxim de México está aquí.
Hola.
Ahí está. All right, well, I guess we'll get started. See who comes in. Well, hello everybody. This is the weather. I'm wearing my All of Life is Our Temple official Treeleaf t-shirt, which I have to tell you is looking a little frayed around the collar. I have to make a new one. If anybody would like one, there's the plan for the shirt. You have to make your own shirt, but the stamp or whatever you call this part is on our donations page. You can just download it, and you don't even have to make a donation. You can just have a shirt. Please, everybody who comes here. Please, if you would like an official Treeleaf t-shirt. Huh? And our birdies are still here. They have not hatched yet, but we were just talking. I think maybe this week, next week, they will hatch. Speaking of flying the nest, I'm going to be in Taiwan. I've somehow been invited to a conference with a bunch of scientists and tech millionaires and Buddhist, real famous Buddhist scholars, and me somehow, to talk about things like AI and robots and Buddhism and things like that, which I like to talk about. So I'll be gone from the 20th until July 2nd. So we'll have Zazen here, but someone else will be hosting. So it'll be you guys. We'll leave this to the birds for a couple of weeks. It might be good timing. All right. Well, if you're all ready. Good to see all of you. If you've been here before, oh, there I am. I was kind of out of the picture. Here I am. If you've been here before, you know what to do. And if it's your first time, just follow along. All right. Good to see you. Hola, Teresa. Good to see you.
Hi.
the perfection of great wisdom sutra. Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, awakened one of compassion in Prajnaparamita, the deep practice of perfect wisdom, perceive the emptiness of all five conditions and was free of suffering. O Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form, form is precisely emptiness, emptiness precisely form, sensations, perceptions, formations, and consciousness are also like this. O Shariputra, all things are expressions of emptiness, not born, not destroyed, not stained, not pure, neither waxing nor waning. Thus emptiness is not form, sensation, nor perception, not formation, nor consciousness, no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, no sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, nor object of mind, no realm of sight, no realm of consciousness, no ignorance, no end to ignorance, no old age and death, no cessation of old age and death, no suffering, nor cause or end to suffering, no path, no wisdom, and no gain, no gain. Thus bodhisattvas live this prajnaparamita with no hindrance of mind, no hindrance, therefore no fear, far beyond all delusion. Nirvana is already here. All past, present, and future Buddhas live this prajnaparamita, thy supreme and complete enlightenment. Therefore know that prajnaparamita is the sacred mantra, the luminous mantra, the supreme mantra, the incomparable mantra, by which all suffering is clear. This is no other than truth. Therefore set forth the prajnaparamita mantra. Set forth this mantra and proclaim Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhisvaha, Hanya Shingyo. Buddha nature pervades the whole universe, reality existing right here now. In reciting the Heart of the Perfection of Great Wisdom Sutra, we dedicate our sincere efforts to Shakyamuni Buddha, Honored One, the historical Buddha and teacher, and to those ancestral teachers, Eihei Dogen, Honored One, Soji Keizan, Honored One, all successive Honored Ones up until Zuigaku Rempu, Honored One, and Gudo Wafu, Honored One, and to all other Honored Ones throughout history, same yet diverse Honored Ones whose names have been forgotten or left unsaid. We also dedicate these efforts to the three treasures, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, to all awakened ones and teachers in all places and times. We especially seek tranquility and well-being for all creatures now suffering or ill in health. May they be serene through all their ills. May their lives be at peace and wisdom pervade the darkness of ignorance. We dedicate our hopes and aspirations to all victims of war and violence and natural events, to the injured and to all families touched by these tragedies, to the healing of hatred in all countries and among all peoples, to the wisdom and compassion of our world leaders, to the peace of the world and the harmony of all beings. Thus let the harmful effects of words, thoughts, and actions be dispelled, and compassion bloom in perpetual spring. May we all realize and live the enlightened way together. All Buddhas throughout space and time. All Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, Maha Prajna Paramita.
Zazen? KINHIN. We will have Zazen and a little talk. Can you all hear? If you can hear, make like you're erasing a blackboard. Erasing a blackboard. Very good. I think half the job description of Zen teacher is to come up with interesting new ways to express and convey the mind, attitude, experience of Zazen. So this time, what came to mind is a whiteboard. You know, like you see in classrooms. When back in my day, they were blackboards and you had the chalk, but I guess everywhere these days is a whiteboard. For a second, I wasn't sure how to say that in Japanese because Japanese blackboard is kokuban. So I thought, what could it be in Japanese? Just to confirm with my wife, I thought I knew, and she said, "Oh, whiteboard." Whiteboard. So today our topic is a whiteboard as the mind of Zen. This is a special whiteboard, as you'll hear, kind of a magical whiteboard. You see, our mind is usually like a whiteboard that's covered with all kinds of scribblings, and it's a real mess, a tangle. We have words of fear and words of desire. We have words of anger sometimes, all scribbled across this board. Our mind is so busy. And there are images that the children have written on the board. Pictures of me over here, pictures of you over there, this and that, scenes of love, scenes of violence, scenes of war, beautiful scenes too, mountains. Some child wrote a lovely picture of the ocean over here. There are animals, kitty cats. In other words, everything in the world, you see, is on this board. Get what I'm going at? And our head is so filled And we don't notice the board. We just notice what's written on the board. You see, this is the thing about people. We notice all the separate things. This which is not that, me which is not you. And we notice our head filled with all these thoughts and emotions. We forget about the board. But this white of the whiteboard is actually something very special. See, this whiteboard, when it's just the board, is clear and open. You see, as I described, it holds everything of our mental lives, and actually it holds everything in the universe. This is a very big board. Stars are on the board. Every atom and molecule is on this board. But when you look past all the separate stuff and all the words of our ideas and emotions that are written there, the white is so, shall we say, pure, open, unbounded. You see, a board in a classroom, has a frame and occupies a particular space, but this Zen mind board has no frame. There's actually the sixth ancestor in the Platform Sutra recited a poem very similar. He was speaking of a mirror, which is very similar notion. The mirror holds everything without resistance. The whiteboard holds all you write on it without resistance. The whiteboard doesn't say, oh, you made an ugly picture, I'm not going to accept that. Oh, this is a bad thought, I'm not going to accept. The whiteboard takes it all in without protest, you see? Just like the mirror that Wei Nung talked about in the Platform Sutra. And he said, this mirror has no frame, which means it's truly stretching in all directions, boundless. Is the universe boundless? What happens when you step off the end of the universe? Well, this whiteboard just goes on and on like that, because it's basically what I'm talking about, you see. There is no image of birth there is no image of death, there is nothing to win or lose, because the board is just complete. It's fertile for all these things, it's fertile in the sense that all the world, all the life can be on it, can be there. You can draw anything that's in the world that is something can be drawn or written or an idea expressed. This board is it. So it's totally fertile with all the vibrancy of this world. But the board itself, there is no life and death there. There is no place to come and go. And on the whiteboard, you see, I could draw a picture over here, make a mark like I did in my high school geometry class, and then make a mark over there and draw a line between and say here is not there. But when you just have the board, it's all the board. You can't say here and there because this is the board, that is the board. Everywhere is the board. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Old MacDonald. I'm a little confused. This board is literally in the 10 directions. There's no geometry there. There's no separate thoughts there. There's no separate me and you there. You are the board. I am the board. Here I go again. Everything's the board. Like that. And when we sit Zazen, and one thing we do is we kind of, shall we say, simplify the writing on the board. And we notice the board. We notice the board. Maybe a little bit the writing, a lot of it kind of softens or vanishes away. And suddenly the light, the illumination, the openness of the board, there it is. There it is. You see, my friend, it's been there all along. It is you and me and everything in this world. But it has been all along. You just didn't notice. You were so lost in the scribbles and the words, you see. And our Zazen is a practice of recovering what was there all along, noticing the board that's always here, like that. So then some folks go the other direction and they say, oh, I guess what we should do now is grab the eraser and completely scrub this board white. This is the purpose of meditation. Because the board is real, what's written on the board is false. Well, that's not really our Zen teachings. I mean, it's very subtle, but it's not really, the idea is not to make everything on the board disappear. I mean, it happens sometimes when you're even Zazen, even Shikantaza, our meditation way is very gentle, but sometimes you can even, how to say, have yourself vanish. Everything vanishes, even in Zazen, and there's only the board, only the light, only the boundlessness. It happens. I spoke to someone this week who had such an experience. But we say, okay, the ugliness on the board is the board too, but you really shouldn't write that. So that's the first thing. You know, okay, yeah, the board holds the war, the board holds a hate, the board holds words of jealousy, but we shouldn't write that. We human beings, we should write more beautiful, peaceful pictures, guided by our precepts. That's the first thing. So the board doesn't resist, the board takes the war as much as it does the picture of peace. The board takes the trash heap, picture of a trash heap, as much as it takes a picture of a beautiful mountain. The board doesn't resist any of it. But we human beings, we should avoid the trash heaps and keep the beautiful mountains clean more, like that. That's the first thing. That's our job. So, yeah, some of it shouldn't be written there, really. But the board doesn't care. We should care. And then we live in a world of life and death and birth and also sadness sometimes. And part of the Zen teachings are, well, but that's just life. You have to write something on the board. You see, we're here for a time as scribblers on the board. And to be human means that you're going to live in a world of, sometimes there'll be pictures of sickness, and sometimes there'll be pictures of death, and sometimes happy times, and sometimes sad days. And if we really erase the board, life would disappear. Some corners of Eastern teachings, even Buddhism, say that that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to completely erase this board and get to a place where there is no death, there is no sickness. The Zen teachers kind of said, well, wait a second, if you did that, life would go with it, you know. This life of up and down, sad and happy, unfortunately, if you're going to do that, if you're going to completely erase the board, you're going to lose that. So how's this for a deal? How about we kind of minimize the pictures of hate, we kind of minimize the pictures of jealousy and greed. Let's do that. But also, okay, we got to keep the fact that there's going to be death and birth, sadness, and some happiness in life. But how about this for a deal? No experience that the board is always there all the time, even through it all. In other words, the board that has no birth and death or sickness or health or separation is there even as we experience this life of writing on it. There has to be some writing of birth and death and up and down, sadness and happy days. Can you see both of them at once? Can you see the writing on the wall and the wall at once? Something like that. That's our practice. Sorry, as long as you're alive, there's going to be days of sadness, days of rain, days of sunshine, days of happiness, days in between. You're going to lose people you love. They're going to be sick. You're going to get sick. This is the deal, man. This is the contract we signed to be alive. But can you know the board is here too? So last thing I want to leave you with is some people in this practice think, oh, what we got to do is see beyond the letters. The letters are getting in the way of the board. That's true sometimes. If our mind is too cluttered, one reason we sit Zazen is because the letters get in the way of our realizing the board is there. But here's something else. They're not in the way. They are the board. The whiteness of the board, the blackness of the letters, the wholeness of the board beyond life and death in all the 10 directions and all the writing on it of me and you and up and down and birth and death and sickness and health. It's not getting in the way of the board. It is, my friend. Ah, the bird came. I was worried. They didn't pop up for Zazen today, and suddenly Mama or Papa just flew through. Good. That's one less worry. See, even birds have their problems. So anyway, you get my point. We sit as the whiteboard, but don't think of the letters as shadows hiding the board. The board is always here, my friend. The board is these letters. The board is right now the Zazen. That's it. We will now recite the verse of atonement and the 4 vows.
All harmful acts, words, and thoughts ever committed by me since of old, on account of beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and mind, now I atone for them all. To save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, the reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable, to save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable, to save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable.
Well, very good. I'm happy to report Mom and Dad. I don't know if you guys were facing the wall, but Mom and Dad Bird were in here a bit. They flew around and they then decided we were not very interesting and left us be today. So I think that's a good sign. I think that's a good sign. I hope everything's going well in the nest. And to all of you, I hope, well, please scribble some beautiful things on your personal corner of the whiteboard today. All right? And for the rest of
Thank
you, we're going to stick
you.
around here. Yeah, you're okay. Good to see you. And we're going to stick around and have some tea. And for a while, if anybody wants to hang out, for the rest of you, see you later. Right?
Thank you so much. That was beautiful.
Oh, you come back anytime.
Thank you. Bye.
Oh, let me our folks here.